HR department gets involved. And
Right.
they say, come in for a well-planned interview and show us cause why you should remain employed.
Right.
And I said,
fight for your job, basically.
for my job, yes. And I had nothing to hide, and I came and said, this is what I said, this is what was reported. Look, it hasn't affected my day-to-day work, and I was a representative for a software company doing tech builds in hospitals and things like that. So it was not like I was a brand manager per se, but I was introducing certain software to hospitals.
Part of the branding.
My background's in healthcare.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. And I said, look, these are my views. I know they're unpopular, but they're protected. Their political opinion and religious opinion is protected in Australia under the Fair Work Act. And I actually quoted, I said, look, Section 772 says, look, Section 1F says religious opinion and political opinion. And the HR guy quoted state legislation to me, which was the anti-discrimination legislation, and said, no, it's not in there. And I said, I know it's not in the state legislation, but the Fair Work Act is Commonwealth, and it is. So basically I went in there and saying, look, these are protected attributes.
Is this just an interview where it's just one-on-one with you and the HR guy, or tell people exactly?
Yeah, the show cause was with the HR person and also my immediate manager.
Right, okay, so it's the three of you.
He stayed quiet, and he really didn't have too much of an axe to grind. I just think
he probably didn't want to be there as much as you didn't want to be.
No, that's right.
I
mean, day-to-day operations of the business, I really wasn't political at work, and I didn't overtly go around spruiking my morality on people either.
Because your employer did know about you standing as a candidate, didn't they?
I did officially notify them with an email, and I told my manager, I said, look, they've asked me to run nominating. Shouldn't be much time off work because I'm not going to, I don't think this is a winnable seat. Right. I don't think it'll affect work too much.
So you weren't asking for time off or time in lieu or anything like that?
No, I had a couple of days annual leave. That was it.
Okay.
And I really tried to be apolitical at work.
Right.
And to some extent areligious, without disowning my faith.
Sure.
But I didn't set out to start arguments with people about theology or politics. Yeah. And I'm still like that, really. So sort of to be put in this situation, I think was surprising to some of my colleagues. But at the end of the day, I said, look, they're protected attributes. I was wondering if they would offer some settlement or some sort of way that we could come to an agreement. Nothing was offered. They actually terminated me with no notice as well. So
did you think you were going to lose your job at that stage? You weren't sure?
After the show cause meeting came up,
right.
It was a funny situation. I knew I was protected legally, but I got concerned that they didn't understand the law either. Right. So I felt like I lost my leverage in a sense.
Did you get the impression they cared about the law, or they could have realised this is something we want to get you, we're going to fire you, come hell or high water?
I think they underestimated my resolve and my knowledge of the law.
Okay.
I think they thought if they bullied their way through that I would just leave and resign without putting up any sort of...
Did you feel pressure to resign, or was it just an in the air kind of a thing, unstated?
Yeah, look, the thing is they terminated me without notice, so there wasn't even typically there's a notice period given. Okay. But they waived that as well. And
can they do that?
No, they can't.
Okay, there you go.
Which I knew too. And I thought, well, they've overstepped the mark here. And then from then it really became a fight for principle, and it became a fight for other people who believe in, who are Christians and want to hold to certain views that they feel is their obligation as a Christian to hold. And I was pretty diplomatic in how I handled my faith and my politics at work, and I thought, look, this legislation is designed in Australia to protect people like that. Right. And I should use it to help not only my cause, but to make a point to others in this situation, that we don't need to be afraid, but we need to stand on the good work of the legislators that have put these protections in already.